Welcome to the My Breakthrough Zone podcast show with your favorite host, Coach Sybil Kears. We go live every Monday on the Boss Lady 101 Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Make sure you come through to get your breakthrough.
Welcome, everybody. This is Coach Sybil Kears, and we are here for the My Breakthrough Zone podcast show. And I wanted to make sure that I got it in, even though it is kind of late. Nonetheless, I'm delivering as promised. I really enjoy being able to do these free coaching live episodes because it helps people. And if it helps just one, then I'm actually feeling like it was worth it. So I'm going to press forward. I'm going to continue to do what I do. And hopefully, if you catch the replay, you'll still benefit from it. If you're catching it live, let me know as well. Either way, drop a comment. Let me know you're here. Don't forget to swing by the Boss Lady 101 page and just give us a like, give us a thumbs up, and then take a trip over to YouTube and just subscribe to our channel so that you'll be updated with all of the recent activities going on at Boss Lady 101 and the My Breakthrough Zone podcast show. All right. So without further ado, today we're going to talk about basically overcoming obstacles. And I thought this would be a good topic to start this next series with because, especially for some states or some cities, kids have gone back to school. So there's going to be obstacles there, whether you're an educator, a parent, or a student. And then also just dealing with life, just dealing with everyday life, just trying to make it. If you're a business owner, we face obstacles. If you're an employee, we face obstacles. If you're an employer, if you're a parent, if you're a child, if you're a student, I mean, I don't care who you are, where you are, what type of lifestyle you live, obstacles are always going to be present. Okay. So, what we will deal with over the next couple of weeks is not basically how to avoid them, but a good way in which we can look at an obstacle and make it become an opportunity. Now, the reason why I ended that statement at opportunity is because based on your mindset, based on your approach and your perception will determine if that opportunity will be one of negative or one that will be positive. Okay. But here we're going to stay on the path of positivity because that's just what we do, right? So I did not introduce myself. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Coach Sybil Kears. I have been nicknamed the Breakthrough Coach, and I do have a holistic approach in the way I do coach women. So with all that being said, thank you for spending this time with us. Thank you for tuning in to the My Breakthrough Zone podcast show. And like I said, we're going to start these next few series. We'll be talking about overcoming obstacles. So let's talk about obstacles a little bit. You know, sometimes we scroll through social media and we'll see a bunch of people posting perfect lives, right? You'll look at someone's profile and it just seems like they have the perfect marriage. It seems like they have the perfect household, the perfect kids, the perfect business, the perfect job. You know what I mean? Even the perfect finish. Their skin is flawless. They look like they're in shape. Whatever they got going on, it just has the appearance of being perfectly polished, right? And sometimes it may give the impression like they don't face any obstacles. It's like you wonder, are you the only one going through? Well, let me tell you a secret. You're not. Okay. The thing about social media and the thing about what we present to the public, it's only going to be what we want the public or social media to know about us, right? We don't always post the pictures when we first wake up and haven't had an opportunity to get on our put our makeup on or fix our hair. You know, that's not what we consider presentable to the public, right? But it is nonetheless part of who we are. Additionally, when we face obstacles, a lot of people don't want to post that. They want to post how they overcame the obstacle, how they won the obstacle. And you may have some people that just want to pretend like they don't face any. But you know what? It's a lot more difficult, in my opinion, faking the funk. Okay? I can't fake the funk. You know, it's kind of like when you want to take a picture. And if you know you got a little extra love going on in love handles and in areas you don't want to show it, And so if you're like me, you holding your breath, trying to hold in your gut, so that you can take that what you want to be is a perfect picture, but in actuality, it's not who you really are. And so you're very uncomfortable during the time that you're not breathing, you're stiff, it's just not uncomfortable. I know I'm not the only one to experience that. I may be the only one willing to admit, but I'm not ashamed, because it's what I do. Nonetheless, it's not that I want to be fake, it's just that I want to have a presentable image because that's what we've been conditioned to do. But it is uncomfortable pretending. It is uncomfortable pretending that I'm holding in my stomach, trying to pretend that it ain't what it is. Okay. Now I don't walk around all the time and do that because I'm comfortable with who I am. And whoever's uncomfortable with who I am can they could find themselves on the other side of the door. I'm okay with that. But my point in case is that when you have to pretend round the clock, every time you're around somebody, all the time, it's tiresome. And nobody wants to be around someone who acts like there's never an obstacle that they have to face. Because you know what? I want to be around those people who had to face some tough obstacles because I'm going to be able to learn from them, knowing they overcame those obstacles. I'll be able to glean and sit at their feet and understand. So when my trial comes, I'll understand how to pass the test. Okay. So I don't want to be around somebody that's perfect all the time. That's tiring in itself. Be real, be authentic, and be you. And you will find yourself being able to handle obstacles better because you truly know who you are. If you're pretending to be someone you're not, that in itself is an obstacle. But that'll be another topic for another day. All right. So, like I said, everyone faces obstacles, whether they choose to share them or not, whether they're trying to be honest with people or not. But the thing that we want to talk about today is now that we understand that everybody faces obstacles, what we don't want to get in the habit of doing is comparing our obstacles with other people. Okay. We don't want to say that our obstacle is more than or less than important than someone else's. Regardless of what. Focus on the obstacles because that's what you have to deal with, but never lose sight of the goal. Okay. If the obstacle is in your way of you achieving your goal, you don't never lose focus on, you don't never stop thinking about the goal, but you look at the obstacle to figure out not how to stay behind it, but how to get over it, how to get around it, how to get through it. Okay. So, how do we do that? Well, it is not no it isn't a one step process, right? There are things that you have to, number one, understand about yourself, the way you think. How's your mindset set? What are your perceptions about who you are and even the obstacle itself? See, all of these things play a role in how you either overcome or succumb to the obstacle. All right. So we're going to talk about some things in the next few series. I don't know how long it's going to be because I don't want to sit here and talk for forever. These live coaching sessions are meant to be short, concise, and just enough information to help someone get through till the next week. Okay. So if you are someone who's facing an obstacle, have faced an obstacle, or know someone who's facing an obstacle, then you want to tune in over the next couple of weeks as we attempt to try to help people learn how to overcome them. All right. So we're going to talk about the truth about obstacles because that's very important that people understand it. Because a lot of people think an obstacle is a roadblock. A lot of people think the obstacle means the end of the road. A lot of people think obstacle means this is how their story ends. And so we need to know the truth about the obstacles, what they entail, what does it mean, and how does it impact us, right? You're going to have some negative and positive things, but nonetheless, you have to be able to identify what the obstacle is and identify the truth about it, okay? Some other things we're going to talk about is your perception. That's very key because what a person perceives is their truth. So we'll talk about the perception and how that impacts obstacles and how we deal with them. All right. And then just talking about a conversation about how it's okay to realize you're not in control of certain things. Sometimes obstacles are formed because we think we're in control. And we create the obstacle when we're unable to accept the fact that we're not. So knowing when to let go and how to let go, sometimes that's actually the solution to that obstacle. And we'll talk about that. We can even venture out and identify what obstacles are and figuring out what it is that created the obstacle for you. Okay. We've touched on setting goals in the beginning of the first series of the My Breakthrough Zone podcast. We talked about goal setting, how to accomplish them, and how to get going. And if you get stuck, how to kick back up and reflush the goals. But we'll touch on how setting goals will even help you with the obstacle itself. So remember to focus on yourself when you're dealing with an obstacle. Do not compare yourself to someone else. Do not compare your obstacle to someone else's. There's things that I will talk about what we can and cannot do to help in those circumstances, because let's be real, we're human, and there's going to be times when we're going to compare ourselves, even though we know we shouldn't do it. It's just part of that conditioning that we have, where we look at things and we compare. It's sometimes that's kind of how our mind processes and learns. We look at what was, and we look at what is, and then we try to project what will be, and that's a learning process in itself. But sometimes we can go overboard. We do a lot more comparison within ourselves and others than necessary. Okay, so we'll talk about some triggers and some things that we can possibly do instead. And there's a bunch of things that I would love to incorporate. So again, I don't know how deep I'm going to go into some of these things. I will play it by ear based off the feedback. But I would love to touch on some emotional resilience that would help when facing obstacles, how to turn challenges into success. I mean, these are a lot of good tools that I would love to give. Okay. And so this is just an introductory um, about what it is you can expect in the upcoming weeks. All right. So I do want to kind of touch on some things just for tonight. We will talk about the truth about obstacles. We'll go ahead and tackle that topic now that I kind of discussed what all we would talk about. All right. So what's the truth about obstacles? Well, the truth is, like I mentioned earlier, everybody faces them. That's one truth. So if you are the type of person to look at someone else and feel like that their life is perfect and it makes you feel overwhelmed about your own life, then take a step back and just realize everybody goes through obstacles. Whether they admit it, whether they share it or not, they go through it. I go through it. You will go through it. Kids go through it. I mean, it's just a factor of life. Okay. So knowing that, one thing that you can do um, when you feel like you are facing multiple obstacles will cause you to become easily disillusioned, make you want to give up. They'll make you feel resentful towards others or yourself or the situation. It will make you want to not even pursue whatever it is you were setting out to do to begin with. But here's where I want to just take a point of privilege to point something out. Let's redirect those thoughts. Whether you make it through the storm or not, that's by choice. But let's say you started out to go to the grocery store. And let's say you got in your vehicle. And as you were going, unbeknownst to you, a terrible storm began to fall in the path that you're traveling. You didn't bring an umbrella, you weren't expecting rain, but you're halfway between your home and the grocery store, right? Now you're sitting in your vehicle and it's pouring down. And let's even throw in this, you just got your hair done, right? You don't want to get sick because you don't have enough to protect you from the rain. And so while you're sitting in your car, you're contemplating two things: continue going or go back. Here's the thing, or stopping. Okay, that might be a third option. Sometimes people pull over until the storm passes. But here's the thing, going back means you will have traveled the same distance, but you'll end up not having what it is you set out to get. Stopping means that you are just stuck. You still did not get what you set out to get. But if you keep going, even through the storm, come on, somebody, even through the storm, you'll get to your destination and then you will be able to get what it is you set out to get. So when you're facing that obstacle, I want you to think of that analogy. Think about that. If I turn back, I would have came this far for nothing and I'm going to go back with nothing. If I don't move forward, I would have came this far for nothing and still have nothing. But if I just keep pressing forward, if I find another way, or if I realize what I'm dealing with and adjust my movement to accommodate the momentum of which I'm traveling, I will end up where I was and I will not end up having nothing because I went out to get something. Okay. So I want you to, that's just the truth about what obstacles are. They're designed to get in front of you, but it causes you to think. It causes you to readjust yourself. It causes you to want to figure out a way to make the obstacle into an opportunity to keep going. It helps you build resilience. It helps you be tenacious. It helps you understand what perseverance really means. Okay. So that's why I say, even though an obstacle can be considered negative, in a way it can be a positive thing. Lauryn Hill, one of my favorite artists, she says it best. She says she'll turn a negative into a positive picture. And so the reason why that's so catchy, and I used to rap back in the days, and so we love metaphors in the rapping industry. The reason why that's so catchy is because back in the days, now if you're a certain age, you won't know what I'm talking about, but if you are, you're about to tell on your age. When we took pictures, we didn't have digital cameras, we didn't have phones, we literally had to buy film, right? And we had to put the film inside of a camera. And when we did that, we had to actually turn the film into a place that processed the film into actual pictures that we had to go pick up. Okay. And so the film, when you got back the film, it was they're called negatives. They're called negatives. The negative films was basically the images that was used to produce the actual picture, right? So I broke that down for a reason. It's because even though something is called negative, it still can be developed into a positive picture, literally, but also in essence, okay? Because here's the thing, the obstacle may be a bump in the road. It may hinder you from getting where you want to go as quickly as you wanted to get there and as efficiently as you wanted to get there. But the truth of the matter is, you learned something. You learned how to keep going. You learned how to get back up. You learned how to get around. You learned how to readjust. You learned how to persevere. I don't care what the situation is. You take something positive out of that obstacle, and I promise you, you will realize that you did indeed learn something about yourself that you didn't know or didn't realize. Because maybe the old you would have turned back with nothing or would have stayed stuck with nothing. But this you kept going and you like, wow, I didn't know I could jump over that hurdle. I didn't know that I could get that second wind to keep going. I didn't know I knew this other way around. But now you do. And nothing can take that from you. Okay. So giving up, having resentment, all of that is useless in helping you accomplish your goal. So definitely want to change your mindset so you could be someone who can turn obstacles into opportunities for success. So don't get me wrong now, this is not always going to be that simple. It's not always going to be, easy. It may take a lot of hard work, determination, blood, sweat, and tears. But listen, you still can overcome them obstacles and transform it into an opportunity for success. Okay? So just remember that as I close on this session. Your perception matters. And the level of control that you have over the obstacles in front of you basically will be based off your mindset and your perception, your determination not to give up. Okay? So just keep in mind that just because you're facing an obstacle doesn't mean that that's where your story ends. it's not the end of the world. Whatever it is, it can be overcome, it can be readjusted, whether it's to keep going. And like I said earlier, might be that you have to let go, take your hands off of it, okay? And we'll talk about that in future episodes. But just remember and by the time we get through with these series, we'll be discussing the importance of focusing on yourself, your emotional resilience, and your continued practice of learning how to see an obstacle as an opportunity for success. Okay. We'll try to cover this information so that you can apply it to your real life circumstances, whether you're facing a major obstacle at this moment or not, or you just want a better life in the long run. We will have tools that will be talked about in future episodes at the My Breakthrough Zone that will help you not only get started, but get through any obstacle you're facing. So make sure you tune back in, make sure you stay tuned, and definitely stay plugged in and keep yourself informed. Like I said, check us out on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, head over to the Boss Lady 101 Pro Facebook page, hit the like button, give us a thumbs up, drop some comments. We love interacting with our audience. We love hearing your feedback. It helps us produce more content for you. But nonetheless, you do know, if whether you're hearing this live or a later rendition of the replay, you'll know that in the next few weeks, we're going to talk about overcoming obstacles. So if you have obstacles, have had obstacles, or know anyone who's in the middle of facing an obstacle, invite them over so that they can definitely glean from the information we will share. My name is Coach Sybil Kears, and as always, I'm so grateful to be able to spend this time with you. I'm going to take this opportunity to say thank you for your time, and thank you for toughing it out with me. Even though it's kind of late, you're still willing to hear from me, and I'm excited about that. Also, just a reminder, we have 3 more days before the 30-day breakthrough journey doors will close. We've cut the prices in half. We're offering it at for a limited time only, at a reduced price. And after the 31st, we will probably not be able to give it at that price again. And we have powerful information. It's so much content that's going to be packed into these, excuse me, these next 30 days. I'm super excited for these ladies who have already signed up. We have room for a few more guests. I do not want it to be a big a big session, because I want to be able to interact with everybody, and the way how this thing is designed, it's going to be a lovely experience. And when we come out on the other side of this 30-day journey, we will definitely not be the same. I can promise you that. So if you would love to be a part of this journey, I encourage you to get your tickets. Make sure that you sign up and that you will be in the number. Again, we only have a few seats left, and then I'm going to cut it off. And then also, after the 31st, registration will end, doors will close, and then sessions begin September 1st. And we're going to cover mindset, reset, spiritual empowerment, emotional intelligence, and financial literacy. Again, it's a holistic approach to helping people, helping women more specifically, get their whole experience of what it means to be a woman. And not only that, what it means to have a purpose-filled life and live your best life and be balanced, and just understand that life is what it is, but it's also about you. And this journey is going to make it all about you. And I cannot wait to share this experience with those who will be involved. Okay. So August 31st is your last opportunity before the doors close. And again, we only have a few seats. So first come, first serve. Until those seats are gone, then the opportunity will no longer be available. So whichever happens first, hopefully you'll get your seat. All right. Nonetheless, again, I am Coach Sybil Kears, the breakthrough coach with a holistic approach, here for women to keep rising to the top. Let's get it, ladies. I'm excited. Thank you for tuning in to the My Breakthrough Zone podcast show. Tune in again next Monday as we continue to talk about overcoming obstacles in the next several series. Much love and success. God bless.